there a Beantown beatdown on tap in Boston tonight? I'm ready to lay down a Beantown beatdown on one of these guys right away. We get you set for the Oilers and the Bruins on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Tom Gazzola with you, Hernan Salas and Joaquin Gage. It is the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Thank you, Zach Kubusch. He's producing the show for us. The 24-12-3 Edmonton Oilers taking on the 20-17-5 Boston Bruins. Of course, get in the conversation. Text us 780-218-9999. You can also reach us via the nasty chat. GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Joaquin, thank you for filling in for Matt Cassian.
This isn't good. Didn't start out well. Washburn hit me with a scoop shot from deep on NBA Jam. Lost my composure completely. Hernan's touching my microphone too much. Tommy thought I was looking at a schedule from December. This is unbelievable.
Did. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, we're all here together, and that's the most important thing. Just three cool dudes, and Zach,
can you put up my headphones, please?
And a bunch of our lovely listeners and viewers.
Thank you.
Okay, Oilers.
If the Oilers have as much heat as we do right now, this game's it's a walkthrough. They coast.
A Beantown beatdown, as I put it.
Exactly.
Well, it's because I don't have Word on my laptop, so I couldn't open it. But I got it on my phone, though, so we're all good, guys. Like,
Jesus.
Everybody just needs to take a chill pill.
If anyone has an extra subscription to Office 360, can you send it over to Hernan over here?
He is struggling. Hope that the Oilers continue to have success as they take on the struggling Bruins. Edmonton's won its last 4 visits to Boston. Gager, you were part of a stretch of 20 years where Edmonton did not win a game in Boston. Do you remember going in there and playing them a couple times?
Yeah, and it was always a bad place because it seemed like I would get sent to the minors right before or right after trips to Boston. Fun place to play, though.
Yeah.
Really close to Providence and stuff. Sometimes we'd just go to games when we were there. I played in Providence for a bit, but no, these are always good games. I like watching these. Last matchup against the Bruins went in the... Oh, my gosh.
What are you doing?
This is... All right.
Zachticum.
I hope the Oilers game goes just as smooth as this is going right now, Tommy.
Well, it's off to a start. What kind of start? Up for debate, but we roll on. Amalie Benjamin from NHL.com will be joining us in a few minutes. We're going to get to starting lineups. We're also going to get to the question of the night, Latino Heat. Do you want to lay that on us right now?
Let's do lineups first.
Yeah, okay, go for it. All right, I'll go for it. Starting lineups brought to you by South Fort Chev. Reserve your 2025 Equinox Trax and Traverse now. They won't last long. They've also got the best discounts on 2025 Silverados, and they won't be beat. See dealer for details, www.southfortchev.com. For the Oilers, a couple of little tweaks here. McDavid between Nugent Hopkins and Brown. That's not changing. Draisaitl with Podkolzin and Arvidsson. Again, still the same, but here's where it does change a bit. Henrique between Skinner and Hyman, so Skinner gets a little bump up. Janmark centering Kapanen and Perry. On defense, Ekholm with Bouchard, Nurse with Emberson, Kulak with the recently recalled Josh Brown. No Derek Ryan, no Troy Stetcher. We'll get into this in a little bit, but let me give the Bruins lineup. Pavel Zacha between Morton Geekie and David Pasternak. Elias Lindholm between Brad Marchand and Charlie Coyle. Trent Frederick with Oliver Wahlstrom, who was picked up off waivers from the Islanders a couple weeks ago, and Justin Brazeau. Mark Kastelik between John Beecher and Cole Koepke. On defense for Boston tonight, Parker Witherspoon with Charlie McAvoy, Nikita Zadorov with Brandon Carlo, Mason Lohrei with Andrew Peak. No Jordan Osterley expected in the lineup for the Bruins. In goal tonight, 26-year-old Stu Skinner getting the nod, 15-8-3, 278 goals against average, 898 save percentage, 1 shutout in 26 games this season. Skinner versus Boston, 3-2-1 record, 281 goals against average, 902 save percentage in the 6 appearances versus the Bruins. At the other end of the rink, 26-year-old Jeremy Swayman, 13-13-3 on the year, 291 goals against average, 891 save percentage, and 2 shutouts in 29 games. He has a 2-1-1 record versus the Oilers lifetime. Swayman in that 4-game span versus Edmonton, 3.22 goals against average, .886 save percentage in 4 games. Zach, stop touching buttons. Thank you very much. Let's go to the advantage
opening for Swayman.
Yeah, well, hey, he's getting sound effects and everything. I don't know if those are on program, but the Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy Injury Report. At Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy, we treat you like the pros. Our multidisciplinary team includes sports medicine physicians along with highly skilled physiotherapists, strength and conditioning coaches, and massage therapists. Whether you're recovering from an injury like your left knee, apparently, or looking to enhance performance, we treat you like a pro using the same locker room approach trusted by the best in the game. For the Oilers, Alec Regula, IR, knee. Evander Kane, IR, abdominal surgery, LTIR, I should say. As for Boston, Hampus Lindholm, IR, lower body. He has been skating, though. No timetable for his return. Boys, what do we make of the lineups?
Surprise, you said Stetcher's out for...
Yeah.
We had someone in the last chat during our show say, what do you think about it?
Yeah,
and I was looking, I couldn't find a lineup.
I couldn't find it either. So, I mean, they called him up, I think, just to have an extra body because... It's a 4-game road trip. They come home for one, then they go out again, right? So I thought it was just an extra body. But, I mean, sure, Stetcher doesn't play a lot either. Like, he's always between 10 and 12 minutes. He's the lowest usually. So I expect the same from Josh Brown tonight. And hopefully he can have a solid game. Of course, we all want him to do well. So we'll see what happens there. But and like I've mentioned on our show, Gager, I'm intrigued with Hyman, Henrique, and Skinner. I think there's something there. I predicted Jeff Skinner would score again tonight. And but they are going to get a feisty team. I mean, they've lost 4 straight. They're not going to be happy, and we'll see what kind of effort the Oilers can bring. They've had a lot of success in Boston as of late. So again, intrigued by that third line, and hopefully Josh Brown can go in there and be solid, and Skinner as well. I mean, it's going to be a good battle between Swayman and Skinner. So it's going to be a good one.
Do you think the putting that new line together is more an because I look back, and I said this earlier today, look back at that LA Kings game and seeing that Fogle kind of third line. I think it's more like a second line, actually, but just a little bit more depth that the Oilers might need moving forward. I don't know. It's interesting to put those guys together right now to me.
The Josh Brown thing comes from Daniel Nugent-Bowman, who is on the road on the trip. So, he says that Josh Brown is in, and then he had the Perry for Ryan, and Skinner starting in goal. So there is your lineup. Nanso, before we get to Amalie Benjamin from NHL.com, do you want to throw out the question of the night for our viewers and listeners?
Yeah, I'm going to go a little off the board here, nothing to do with the game, because I don't want to go Leon if he's going to hit again and all that kind of stuff. But this question is kind of overall picture. We're into the new year. There is rumblings that the Oilers might call up a player or two here to give them a look. So, if you're the Edmonton Oilers, and this is for our nasties, and on the inbox at 780-218-9999, would you like to see Noah Philp up this month with the team as a mainstay? Because Derek Ryan's in and out of the lineup, guys. Yeah. He's a guy that's probably going to hold that role unless he gets sent down or whatever happens with him. Perry's another guy that can be in and out of the lineup. It seems like Noah Philp's having an excellent season down in the minors. He's not a young guy. Like, he's young, but he's not 20, right? He's already 26 years old. And it's a guy that can bring some intangibles that the Oilers could use. He's got size, good on the faceoffs, got a little bit of skill, the two-way game. So I'll ask you two as well. Would you like to see a Noah Philp called up and become one of the mainstays in the bottom 6 for the Edmonton Oilers?
Do I want him to stay up here right now? It depends on. I'm not too well versed on how things are going in the minors. I've seen his kind of point
stat
totals.
Line,
16 points in 26 games, 8 goals, 8 assists.
I mean that his spot is basically right now Derek Ryan's, and it's going to be his at some point, right? Derek Ryan being out of the lineup a lot lately. I'd like to see him now just because of how he looked at camp. He got that quick call-up, looked quite good. And now he's had a chance to play a little bit more. There's a little bit more experience under his belts at the pro level. Maybe I'm just curious to see how he would fit in that role, because I think what we've been talking about, especially in the bottom 6, is there's not a lot of speed down there. And I think that provides maybe not only speed, but a little bit more size too.
And I think you also don't want to call him up if he's going to be in and out of the lineup. Like when I say mainstay, like he's going to be a lock, your fourth line center. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
it's hard.
He got chewed up like we did an NBA Jam on the draws last time.
We really did.
And so I wonder if that part of his game it has improved. That's what I would look for, because puck possession on those bottom lines, that's really important.
Yeah.
Especially if they get hemmed in there, icing calls, things like that.
I think in time, I mean, sounds like he's making good progress. I think eventually it's going to happen at some point here. So, but good to see he's having success. Zach, we're working on Amalie, or is she good to go? Oh, he's having some issues. All right, we're working on that. 780-218-9999. What would you like to see the Oilers do? And that's call up Noah Philp. Hernan, that's the question of the night.
Yeah, like is it time? Because it seems like it's kind of a hard question too, because I mean, two guys got to come out of the lineup, right? Because you already have Derek Ryan, then someone else has to come out, and right now I don't see anyone but Derek Ryan coming out.
Well, the Brown thing is kind of interesting. Is Stetcher hurt, or
that's a good
I don't know the reason. I distinctly remember someone saying during our show that Stetcher struggled against the Boston Bruins. I'm trying to think if he was susceptible, because they're a high pressure team, good on the forecheck. Maybe they're looking for a little bit more physicality against a bigger, faster Bruins team.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I mean, it's just something to keep in mind. Switch it up a bit, because, like I said, we're into January, and yeah.
Loomis texting in via the nasty chat says, bring him up, see what he is, start him at 4C, and maybe see if he can push 3C. I don't think anybody's disrupting Henrique from 3C.
No, I think the talk of the day was Henrique's offensive production as of late, but there's a lot of other things that he's doing well. The PK is one, obviously. The face-offs, I believe, are at 54% on the season, so a lot of puck possession time there. Reliable player. You'd like to see him put the puck in the net a little bit more, but again, Oilers are on a little bit of a heater. They don't need. Cass said today, he said it's not a problem until the Oilers start needing him to score, but they're getting contributions from other parts of the lineup.
Bronco Nick says, yes, Philp is the 4C. Bring him up now. He's younger, bigger, and faster than Ryan. I think that's kind of become pretty obvious as Derek Ryan's, kind of fading. And then when if Philp continues to play well, he'll show us that, or he'll get a chance to show everyone that he's ready to go. All right, we're going to get Amalie Benjamin on here in a little bit. Zach is working on that. Get those texts in, 780-218-9999. Tom Gazzola, Hernan Salas, and Joaquin Gage with you. It is the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show on iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, of course, EdmontonSportsTalk.com's audio player, and YouTube. Hit that thumbs up. Stanley in YYC says, hello, gents. Stuck at work working on reports, hoping to be home to watch the third period. Can at least listen to the show and game on the radio. Interested to see how this goes. 18-19-53 line works out. I'm not quite sure what to think of it, or will it be broken up quickly? Well,
good chance of that, probably.
I don't think this is long term, right?
No, it is not locked in. But I think it's the word of the day is interesting to see how this line starts going, because by all accounts, Skinner's has scored points, scored a real nice goal in Seattle. Probably feeling a lot better than about himself, and there's experience on that line. These guys have been in the league for a long period of time, right? So, I like it. I like this move, because I think at certain points against whoever you're playing against in the playoffs, it might not be the line you want it against specific competition, but it might make sense in other areas. Right?
Yeah, no, and listen, it's two skilled wingers. You got a guy that's a solid vet who was a top six guy in his younger years, and now has kind of transitioned into that responsible two-way guy. So I'm very intrigued by this line. And you never know with Knobloch, he might switch him up by the second period, so we'll go from there.
I think that has a very strong possibility of happening, but maybe they have some longevity. We'll see. It is The GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Gazzola, Gage, and Salas with you. Edmonton looking to make it 4 straight wins. The Bruins on a 4-game winless skid. I know technically it's winless skid, but it's a losing streak.
Yeah.
1 win in the last 6. We saw Boston here in Edmonton last month, guys, and Edmonton won that game in overtime. The Bruins, I look at this and the 9 games in 9 days, or pardon me, not 9 days, 9 cities. Joaquin, from a player's perspective, like how difficult can that be?
I mean, it all depends on how you go into this type of stretch. I think the Oilers are kind of looking forward to it. There's been a lot of games at home. You know, you get into a different arena, kind of get out on the road with your teammates. I think there's galvanizing moments, especially on the road. You go into a city like Boston. Obviously, if you're in that dressing room, you're hearing, okay, these guys have lost. The losers in the last 4. Expect their best. Probably the saying of survive the first minutes or weather the storm, and then pick up the game from there. But they've had a lot of rest up to this point. You know, they got in a few days ago, got a chance to get acclimated to the city and what have you. I think they'll be well prepared for a Bruins team that's kind of licking their wounds right now.
That doesn't always work out for the good old Oil.
I know. But I said before, like this stretch of 6 games.
Yeah.
I felt that the hardest part was going to be the last 2, kind of playing the back-to-back nights, in different cities. I thought it was going to be, it was a pretty stiff test against Seattle, but I think they can really make some hay, so to speak, with these next 3, and hopefully for the Edmonton Oilers close that gap between them and the Vegas Golden Knights.
Here's a question for both of you guys, because on the post-game show, both the Anaheim win and the Seattle win, there are still some that are like, not really convinced with those victories. How do you reply to that?
But they played really well. Like the Seattle game, guys, for 40 minutes, they were like...
One hiccup.
Seattle had 7 shots before their first goal that Kapanen threw a terrible pass at the blue line that led to that goal. So for me, I thought the Oilers played really well. They just couldn't find that goal that would put the team away. They couldn't. And Tommy, we talked about it. Grubauer was really good.
He did shut the door after.
Yeah, he was really good. So sometimes you have to give credit to the other team as well. It's not always just the Oilers don't do this. Against Anaheim, same thing. They let that team hang around. They couldn't find that other goal, and then we all know what happened. But I get a bit of frustration, but it'd be different if the Oilers won those games playing really poorly. Where I thought for most of the games, both of those games, they were the better team. They wasn't even close.
Yeah, no, 2 mistakes, kind of. Tommy, the second goal I know you didn't like.
You also said I don't like goalies, which is a lie.
I know. You like me a little bit.
A little bit,
but it's 2 mistakes that the Kraken were able to take advantage of, and I mean, even the second goal by Schwartz, like I was telling you, that was an amazing shot. Like he was at a weird angle, as a left shot, and put it post and in far side. Like there was a small little window to put that in. The other giveaway is just a big pizza. It shouldn't be done in the first place. That's if you're on the second power play unit, you don't want to be doing backhand no look passes across the blue line if you want another chance at it. So that's absolutely ridiculous. But like you said, they played good. And Seattle, I don't think they didn't generate that much. Anything they did was snuffed out quite quickly by the Edmonton Oilers, and they generated and took advantage of their chances. So I think tonight, though, it's a little bit different beast, because when you look into the Kraken lineup, the big name obviously is Pasternak. Right?
Oh yeah,
this guy. I don't know if you guys watched much of the Leafs Bruins game on the weekend.
No, I didn't catch it.
But it was all Pasternak. Like the Leafs would score, he came back and scored right away. He's so dangerous and shifty. He can beat goalies from distance. Always in the right spot. Scores late. You know, he's a magical player. So you have to watch him, because he can generate something out of nothing, not unlike Connor and Leon can, right? So, and again, what I was mentioning before of the makeup of hockey teams are all different. The Oilers are good enough to create their own scoring chances. They don't have to wait for something to develop to take advantage of. Like the Kraken, I think they're basically a counterpunching team. But now you get a Bruins team that's a little bit of counterpunching, but also have a superstar in the lineup.
Pasternak, 4 goals in his last 2 games, had a couple against Toronto, like you're talking about, Gager, and then in that 5-4 loss in overtime to the Islanders on Sunday, also potted a pair. Edmonton has not played since Saturday. They should be well rested going from the West Coast to the East Coast, but having that extra day, how much does that help, or will it affect this group?
I don't think it'll affect all. They got to sleep over in Seattle. They traveled the next day, relax, get it. It shouldn't affect them. It's not that big a trip.
All right.
I like this, Chief Andy. I predict a 3-1 win for the Oil. If they don't win, you already know who I'm going to blame.
Ooh.
Stuart Skinner.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I mean, if getting to the goaltending, this is a guy that, Swayman hasn't been close to what he was last year. And one of the main thing you talk about with the Boston Bruins is why, they're still in a playoff position. They're 3rd in the Atlantic, I believe, right? So
yeah, they are.
It's not like this team is terrible by any means. I think we're just used to the Bruins. They're not far removed from having one of the, was it the greatest regular season of all time?
Yes.
There's just been some massive holes that they've lost with Bergeron. You can't replace Hall of Famers. It's unless you get another one, and that's
Pavel Zacha, Patrice Bergeron. It's a little bit different,
not
right?
The same, right?
Yeah.
McAvoy. We were talking about Nanso that he's great.
Yeah.
But not a pure power play specialist, right? And I believe their power play sits 31st in the league right now.
Tom, you might know this. A lot of people are asking about Regula, and they want to see him in the lineup. Is this guy going to get a shot in this lineup, or is it Josh Brown the 7th? And
okay, I had a nice chat the other day at the rink with people in hockey ops, and I was told when Regula is healthy and he's rehabbing a knee injury, I think he had a surgery on it, if I recall correctly, but they do want to give him a shot.
Okay.
And now he might need some time in the minors as like a conditioning stint, but he is someone that they're looking at maybe being a surprise good pickup. And I think the Bruins had a plan for Regula and didn't think anybody would snap him up on waivers. So I think this was kind of a sneak attack by the Oilers. Obviously, Stan Bowman drafted the guy in Chicago and kind of has a line on him. So the Oilers kind of try to pull a quick one on the Bruins, and yeah, they might have a little bit of a plan in place for him too, but I don't think you can put a guy with 22 NHL games, pencil him in as your number 7 after you got Stetcher in there. And don't get me wrong, Stetcher gives you everything he can. He's smaller, he gets bounced around a lot, but when a guy's been around for a decade, compared to a guy who's played 22 games, especially this time of year where you're trying to win a Stanley Cup, I don't think you make that swap. But he's probably going to get a look, and there might be something there. But we really don't know until that knee gets better, B, he plays some games, and then C, maybe he finally gets a look with the Oilers.
Maybe he's the defenseman all along.
Yeah, okay, that's very wishful thinking.
Yeah.
Well, you never know.
You never know. I think...
I'm kidding, by the way.
I know, but you look at Emberson, of where he was supposed to be the de facto in the top 4, but
he's kind of done that.
He's gotten a lot better. Man.
Yeah,
and there's definitely a player there. He's an NHL defenseman, and I think there's except for, was it him? I kind of made fun of the Ole move, the one game, but he's been really good, and he's sneaky with some of the hits. I think he's a lot more solid than what people think, and he's able to put guys on their keister. You see him go in for a battle, and a lot of times against a guy that's looks a lot bigger than he is, and he ends up with the puck and winning battles. So that's the most important thing, that physicality that a lot of people think that the Oilers lack.
He's been very good. Quietly very good.
Yeah.
There's no complaints.
The fact that we're not talking about him is probably, like you say, is probably a good thing. You know?
Yeah. And I think it's also lowered the expectations of everybody here in Edmonton, because coming in, the expectations were a little too crazy for him.
Oh yeah. Well, look at Darnell Nurse, right? Like we were critiquing him every second, and his play is. Now we just talk about Bouchard, I guess.
All right. Amalie Benjamin from NHL.com is good to go. It is the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Tom Gazzola, Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas with you as we get you set for the Oilers and the Bruins. Zach Kubusch, nice work getting everything figured out on the technical side. There's some issues there. Amalie, welcome to the pregame show. Appreciate you coming on. Sorry for the technical issues, but let's get right into it because we only have a few minutes. The Bruins come into this game, just one win in their last 6. They haven't won a game in their last 4. What areas of the team's game have been deficient in this last little stretch?
I'd say anything relating to scoring, outside of maybe David Pastrnak this weekend, has definitely been a challenge. I mean, you look at that power play, they're number 31st in the NHL. That's not traditionally where the Bruins have been. They haven't been at the top of the pile, but they've usually been pretty middle of the pack, and being 31st in the league and on the power play is not going to get you where you want to go.
You mentioned the power play. What's been the biggest challenge? Is it not having that pure kind of quarterback? We had talked to someone today about just the missing, like a Torrey Krug back there. That McAvoy isn't the pure kind of quarterback that you see, and obviously there's some personnel that the Boston Bruins have had on their number 1 power play that just aren't there anymore.
Hey, I think it's a number of things. I think they haven't been able to connect in the ways that they have, and they're also missing, as you said, they're missing pieces. You look at some of those power plays that really worked, and you think about Bergeron being on the bumper, and you think about Krejci, and you think about guys that had known each other for so long and were so attuned to each other, and just sort of knew where to go, where to be, what to do. And yeah, I mean, McAvoy is definitely, a work in progress there, but and they had hoped that Lindholm would work in that bumper spot, and it just hasn't come together.
Amalie, it's Hernan here. Thank you for joining us. When you talk about the Boston Bruins, a lot of the topics surrounding it is the center depth. You have Pavel Zacha playing on the first line there. Is this a position that maybe the GM there in Boston is going to look at to add to this team ahead of the trade deadline to make that final push for the playoffs? And what have you made of the center so far for the Boston Bruins?
I mean, this has been a problem for 2 seasons. This has been, since you lose, as I said, Krejci and Bergeron, they've been looking for a center, and they thought that Elias Lindholm was the solution to that. He was sort of the Bergeron light, and he has struggled in this transition this year. So yeah, I think, when you look at this team, you look at like a Charlie Coyle as your third line center, and that's a great position for him to be in. It's a little more challenging when he ends up playing up. They could desperately use a center that would lengthen this lineup tremendously. But that's a hard position to find on the open market, and we have seen them be unable to sort of find the right piece for a couple of years now. They had some success. It's kind of catching up with them now at this point.
Amalie Benjamin joining us now from NHL.com as we get you set for the Oilers and the Bruins. Edmonton continuing a 4-game road trip. This is the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Gazzola, Gage, and Salas with you. If you're listening on iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, text us 780-218-9999. If you're watching on YouTube, get into the nasty chat. Amalie, we're halfway through the season. I know the Bruins have surpassed the halfway mark. Edmonton's just approaching it. What kind of identity does this Bruins team have right now? I know there's been a coaching change, and you talk about the new guys that have come in, guys trying to make their case to fill in for players that have been there forever. How would you describe this team through half the season?
An up and down team. I mean, that's what they've been. They've been an inconsistent team. This is a team that wants to lead with its defensive play. It has for a long time been a defense first team that scores enough to make that work. And they pride themselves on their defense, and they continue to if they can find a way for Jeremy Swayman to get back to the Jeremy Swayman that they anticipated he would be when he signs for $8.25 million a year, that would help a lot. But it's been a team that I would say in some ways doesn't really know its identity outside of wanting to be a defensive-minded team. So I think the inconsistency, the up and down, the one step forward, one step back, way that this season has gone for them maybe has been trying to find that identity, and especially now that they have had that coaching change, they have Joe Sacco at the helm. At the same time, he's a guy who's been here for a long time, so it wasn't a tremendous sea change when you go internal with that coaching hire. So yeah, I think that they still are a little bit lost, I think, on figuring out who they are and what they can be as a team. And the end of the season is, we're right at the midpoint, but those playoffs are going to come fast.
Yeah,
Amalie, they're still third in the Atlantic, and I know it sounds like we're kind of piling it on the Bruins a little bit here, but so they find themselves, like you'd mentioned, a lot of players have left. They're as they age and getting older. They're not far removed from being one of the best, having the best regular season record ever. What do you see from the management, and are they looking to, if things don't work out for the Bruins, would you see a full rebuild, or are they most likely looking to retool on the fly here and get back to kind of where they were a few years ago?
It's a good question. They've staved off a complete rebuild for a while, but this is not a team that has a ton coming. This is not a team that has, prospects in the pipeline because they have been so good for so long. They've hit on a couple guys, later in that first round, but there have been a lot of rounds where they haven't had a first rounder, and the drafts have been a little iffy. So, I think that this is a team that's sort of caught in between. And with a fan base that demands a lot, with a fan base that would probably really struggle to accept a full rebuild, though it may be eventually what this team needs. They've tried to say, okay, we'll sign a Lindholm, we'll sign Zadorov, we won't need that. That'll be sort of the mini retool, and we'll get back there. But so far, the results have been not as promising as they had hoped. So this is a team that's going to need to figure out what it is and what it is going to be, and if it can find the kind of talent that it needs to, remain a perennial playoff contender.
Amalie, how much is this team missing Hampus Lindholm? Is that kind of somebody that could really stir the drink from them on the back end?
100%. They are definitely missing. As we said, this is a team that has a really defensive mindset. They want to be a defense first team, and he was arguably playing the best of anyone on this team when he got injured on November 12th. So he is a guy who had sort of gone back to the best that he had shown as a Bruin since he came over in the trade from Anaheim, and I think they're missing that a lot. We saw him out on the ice this morning before morning skate. There's still no timeline for him with that lower body injury, but he would be a tremendous piece for this team to get back. There's no question.
All right, if the Bruins are to snap this skid that they're on and end the Oilers' mini winning streak, what has to happen for Boston tonight, in your opinion?
They need really good goaltending. That's where it starts. They need to get those saves, and this is not a team that is easy to do against. So they really just need a really good, solid defensive and goaltending performance, if I can get the words out. And another multi-goal game from David Pastrnak would not hurt.
Yeah, 4 in his last 2. Amalie, thank you so much for the time. I know we're getting close to puck drop, so really appreciate it, and enjoy the game tonight, okay?
Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it, guys.
That is Amalie Benjamin from NHL.com. Thank you to her for her patience, and thank you to Zach for scrambling to make that work. We were having some tech issues, but we got it all sorted out. And thank you to Jay Milne for going and scooping up some coffees. What a guy. That's a good food guy right there.
Where's your phone?
Yeah.
Whatever. Thanks, Jay, for nothing.
780-218-9999. It is the GCL Diesel Oil Stream. we're kind of temporarily we're wedged in between the start and finish of the Reid Wilkins Show with the glue guy, Jay Milne. You can text us and get in on the nasty chat. We do need to get to Game Changers with our game analyst, Joaquin Gage. Game Changers, as always, brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Damon Bunting, consistent top-producing realtor in the Greater Edmonton area for over 17 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. He's community-driven, understands what it takes to make a difference in our city, so check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Now with
The agency.
Oh,
The agency.
The agency. Number one on Game Changers tonight, Big Brown. All right, Gage, we'll go for it.
Well, yeah, it was kind of a shock that he was. We saw him get called up, but I didn't think we'd see him in the lineup really. Yeah. Against he always referred to it the big bad Bruins, right? And they do pressure the puck. Maybe you had mentioned earlier, Tommy, just Stetcher, smaller guy. He does what he can out there, but it's sometimes nice to have maybe someone with a little bit more beef on him, especially against a team like this.
Yeah, and that's what I was kind of wondering too, because when they called Josh Brown, I'm like, okay, they just want an extra body for this trip kind of thing, but I didn't know they'd actually use him. And this is an instance where, and Gager, this comes on the heels of a couple of games, or would they finish with Nanso? 7 and
hits.
3 hits officially.
Yeah.
I know that's subjective, but how do you look at the hit thing? Because I know we've talked to Cass about it, we talked to Belzy about it. When you have possession, the perfect game, yada yada, that kind of stuff, but you do need some jam at some point, don't you?
Again, going from rink to rink, sometimes the counter isn't always the same. I know they review things. I find that there's a lot more hits than 3. I don't know what constitutes an actual hit during the game. It becomes an issue if they start losing and you look at the end of the game and they have 3 hits. This is but you don't get hit when you have the puck too. And for the first 2 periods against the Seattle Kraken, they had the puck the whole time. I think tonight's you'll see a little bit different. Bruins typically in Boston play a more physical style, which can kind of raise the volume or the temperature of the game up. And I think you'll see a lot more possible physical confrontations with guys tonight.
Do you know the 2 forwards that had hits in Seattle? There's only 2.
I think it was, wasn't it Kapanen and no? It was Skinner and who else?
Podkolzin.
Podkolzin. There it was.
Podkolzin had 2. Skinner had 1.
They're beasts.
Yeah, both of them are. I know we joke about it, and it is subjective, like the hits and what constitutes a hit. Rink to rink, it's different, obviously. I have seen a PR guy from a team stand behind off-ice officials on game day in the press box and be like, that was a shot. That was a hit.
Yeah.
And they're like, what are you doing, man? I have seen that.
Do you want to track hits tonight?
No.
He does not. That's not his job. All right, let's go to number 2. It is new line. Gager, go for it.
Well, we've seen the new line put together by the Edmonton Oilers here. I think it's more looking to the future against possible opponents where you need a little bit more depth throughout the whole lineup, and it might be just to get some guys going. Skinner seems to have found a little bit of an offensive spark. Would nice to see Henrique get on the board a little bit more. So, I like it. I think when you look at both lineups tonight, and if third lines kind of stay the same, that's again a line that, looking on paper, should be able to have success tonight.
Yeah, and especially when you look of who they might face on the other side, like that's like the bottom 6 of the Boston Bruins not that great, guys. Like,
no,
you want a refresher on that?
Some young guys, sure.
Frederick between Wallstrom and Brazeau, Kastelik between Beecher and Cole Koepke.
That's what I mean. Like it's like they could take advantage of.
They should.
Yeah, because Skinner and Hyman are,
Henrique has more games than all those guys.
Probably.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see that line. That's why I think the matchups favor them. They're probably getting the third pairing on most shifts. maybe.
Yeah.
Likely,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's good opportunity for them. And I think I said it last week, if Skinner can just, like, the only way he's going to get back into the top six, and I know you guys on the Oil Stream talked about it yesterday, I think he will eventually, but scoring that goal on Saturday, scoring again tonight, or just being active, right? Like being noticeable, he's going to get another shot. I truly believe that.
Does he still need to win over the coaching staff and like gain trust?
I think so.
And how do you do that when you're in a position like this where you really are not a multifaceted type of player, haven't been for 15 years, Joaquin, and all of a sudden you got a championship caliber team that's like, we need you to do A, B, and C and not just give us C.
Is that the difference? That he's playing on a championship caliber team?
Oh, yeah.
Because he wasn't before.
No, he's playing on bad teams and never made the playoffs.
It'd be interesting to see Jeff Skinner's point production at this time of year compared to the beginning, because at this point, Buffalo is usually done, right? So
That's a good
garbage
point.
time.
He's I wonder if these points come more in, like you said, Tommy, garbage time. But as you get older and to continue to play in the NHL, you have to redefine yourself as a player. Like Corey Perry was not this type of player when he was with the Ducks. He
Valid.
was Adam Henrique was he put up points, but now he's kind of adjusted his game, I think. Jeff Skinner has to figure out what's going to make him successful. By all accounts, like the body language is good, what he's saying is good. Obviously, he's not completely thrilled with his game right now. Mm-hmm. He wants to be a contributor. But he has to figure this thing out. And I think just by scoring, you saw the touch he had around the net. I think if he can, I don't think he's going to score every game here, but the other thing is chances. You know, if he's having good chances and keeps performing that way, I think there's something there with this player. But it's also a little bit of adjustment because of what I think the Edmonton Oilers coaching staff want from him. They want a guy that's probably a little bit harder to play against, and that's really coming out of his comfort zone over the past decade.
And by the way, we do nicknames. It's Rico.
Rico.
Oh, we do now?
Right. What was that on that one was on the Seattle broadcast?
The Seattle broadcast.
Oh, that's right.
They all talk nicknames.
Yeah.
I don't mind
Ruby,
Rico though. I
The
hate
big cat.
The big cat.
Turbo.
Oh, yeah. Turbo blocked a shot, but he's a tough guy. Turbo was back out there.
Like, if you're a casual fan in Seattle, you're like, who the hell are they talking to? So then on the post-game show, we started talking with Nick.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
you did. That's how I remembered it. That was pretty funny, though. I don't mind. Like, that's a good nickname, though, Rico.
But they're... And those broadcasts, Eddie O and Johnny Forsland, those guys are... Johnny started out with the Hartford Whalers, okay?
Yeah.
Wow.
He was in PR, then he moved to play-by-play, and then in Carolina, like, you're out there on an island as a hockey team in Raleigh and Durham and in North Carolina, and so they stuck together. There's more of that team feel, whereas in any Canadian market, you are not part of the team whatsoever. If you're on the outside, you're on the outside. And I remember times working for the team, and I didn't want to be on the inside, but you're like, how come like the Bruins staff get treated so good and the Kings staff, and then you'd talk to the PR people, they'd be like, F you, shut up. You're like, okay, I guess so. Whatever, I guess this is how it is. Anyway, we have Gager and the Latino Heat with us and the Coob. I'm Gazzy, I guess. It is Game Changers with Joaquin Gage here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Point number 1 was Big Brown for Game Changers. Point number 2, new line. Point number 3, Joaquin, don't poke the bear.
Yeah, and this is basically keeping a team that hasn't had success. Try not to give them any life. You know, they're already going to be a little bit pumped up for this game. Again, Amalie said that they are a kind of a defense-first team, that counterpunching style. It would be nice if the Edmonton Oilers scored first in this game, right? And had let the Boston Bruins have to start opening up to start chasing the game, because that's very difficult to do against an Olympic track athlete like the Oilers are when it comes to scoring goals. So just don't give them any life. this first 10 minutes of this game, I think, is going to be really important. Again, if I'm the coaching staff, you want to be coming in after the first period, either up one or tied, and just let the game play out from there.
I just saw Nuge with Gene doing a bench interview, and he says, "We're prepared. We're ready." To go."
Excellent.
For what?
You heard it here.
All right.
Okay, that was
like
Game
it.
Changers brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Point number 1, Big Brown. Point number 2, New Line. Number 3, do not poke that bear. Okay, let's get to some text, 780-218-9999. Also get into the nasty chat, if you will. We've got a lot of people watching. This is fantastic. Gazzola, Gager, Salas, and the Koob with you. The final hour of the Reid Wilkins Show coming up next. Lacombe Drew says, Gazzy, isn't your nickname Short Shorts or Tony Gazzola? It can be.
Or
It-
Tony. Tony.
Tony, yeah. According to the UFC, it's Tony. Let's go to T-Rev. T-Rev says, good afternoon, gentlemen. I am looking forward to this game tonight, thinking it will be a good test to see how Jay Skins, speaking of nicknames, does as well as Hyman, too. Building up some more continued wins in a row seems necessary with Vegas and LA seemingly never losing. T-Rev. And I'll add T-Rev to the point about Vegas and LA never losing. The Oilers are right there with them. They're the 3 hottest teams in the league right now. It's just Vegas has been unbelievable this season. Like, if you're in the Oilers' shoes right now, guys, are you looking at the standings or you just go, get the 2 points in the next game. Don't worry about what those other guys are doing. Forget about it.
I think you go. There's too much season left still. It's like let's get into March and see where we're at, and if it's realistic to catch them, because Vegas is going to go on a bit of a streak here of losing maybe a couple.
They
of games.
always hit a snag around this time of year. It was December last year, I think, if I remember correctly.
I'd rather the Oilers. Well, the Oilers are hot too, but I'd rather the Oilers, playing their best hockey come March, April, because then they can make up some ground, and who knows what Vegas is going to do. Maybe Mark Stone lands on LTIR by March, and
It usually coincides with a Stone regular season ending injury.
But
Then-
playoff season
playoffs,
miracle. It tends to happen.
Zedmo says Josh Brown goal today. Zedmo,
What's the line on that on Cool Bet?
If that hits Zedmo,
My goodness.
go play the lottery,
Wow.
man.
Oh, I did put a little sprinkle on the game because I was listening to the boys on the Lock Shop, and I was like, I'm tempted, so I went with the Lock Shop crew. Love those guys. Let's go to Shanzi. Shanzi says, nah, bruh. Tommy the Ranch, quite simply the best. Yes, thank you, Shanzi. I appreciate that.
is, yeah.
And then Vance Vander Van says, can I take this chance to personally thank Joaquin Gage, a.k.a. Gager, for his epic on-the-spot intro to mine and Tommy Rabella's 6 o'clocker lager chug-off a couple of weeks ago. Absolute pro. I
was upset with my performance, actually. I let it breathe too much. I should have had a little bit more play-by-play with the actual chugging. It was good for video, not great for radio.
That was the day after our Christmas party,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right, because you and Eric were with Danny having lunch.
Yeah, Eric was useless.
He was in a tough spot, and then I wheeled in to get ready for the pre and post game show. And yeah, we
Fresh
had
as a daisy, Tommy.
well, I didn't go wild. I had hockey the night before too, but you stuck around. We had a great afternoon.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Can't
met
wait to get back there.
I met your old roommate, and I met your. Well, I've known Megan for a little while, but she came and hung out as
Yeah.
well. But I met your old roommate. How's he doing in his new place with his girlfriend?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's going good. He got a cat.
Oh, you got one?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Guess he doesn't want Dad coming over.
Oh, boy. You're allergic, right?
Yeah.
No.
Deathly.
Like, is this true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ouch. All right. The Oilers and the Bruins. If you haven't heard, here's the lineup for Edmonton. Tonight, McDavid between Nugent Hopkins and Brown. Draisaitl with Podkolzin and Arvidsson. Henrique between Skinner and Hyman. Janmark centering Kapanen. And Perry, Derek Ryan comes out of action. On defense, Ekholm with Bouchard. Nurse with Emberson. Kulak with Josh Brown playing in his 4th game of the year for the Oilers. That means Troy Stetcher is out on the back end. Now for the Bruins. Pavel Zacha between Morgan Geekie and David Pasternak. Elias Lindholm between Brad Marchand and Charlie Coyle. Trent Frederick with Oliver Wahlstrom and Justin Brazeau. Mark Kastelik centering the fourth line with John Beecher and Cole Koepke. On defense for the Bruins, Parker Witherspoon with Charlie McAvoy. Nikita Zadorov with Brandon Carlo. Mason Lohrei with Andrew Peeke. No Jordan Osterley for Boston. Between the pipes tonight, 26-year-old Stu Skinner for the Oil. 26-year-old Jeremy Swayman for the Bruins. All right, boys, we've got a couple minutes left. Final thoughts as the Oilers look for a fourth straight win. Go ahead. Gager, Nanso, take it away.
Fourth straight win, fifth straight win in Boston.
Yep.
And if they would, I mean, I want to see Draisaitl continue his point streak as well. It's going to be a good game. What is it? The last 5-6 games, Tommy, they've all come down to one goal.
Yes.
So it's going to be another tight affair, I think. I don't think this is a high-scoring game. I think this is a low-scoring game and a close one. I think Boston's going to be raring to go, too, 4 straight losses. So, it's going to be an interesting night. We'll be back for the postgame show to break it all down.
Yeah, I think you're right, Nanso. This is going to be I'm going to call for it a goaltender's battle tonight.
Oh.
I think it's going to go save for save. And whoever can take that last goal away from a good scoring chance from the other team is going to win this game. I just remember the game here 2 years ago, and it was a great battle. Swayman made a great save in OT, and it just came down to that. Make one last save, and whichever goaltender can do that, I think their team's going to win.
Draisaitl will look to extend his point streak to 15 games and try to help the Oilers snap Boston's 6-game home point streak. Even though they've lost 4 in a row and only have 1 win in their last 6, they were on the road for a bunch of those games. So Boston is 6-0-1 in their last 7 at home. They have a 7-game home point streak, so Draisaitl could become the 6th different player in Oilers history with a 15-game point streak and just the 2nd in 35 years following McDavid's 17-gamer that he had in 22 and 21. So there you go, some Oilers history on the line as Edmonton looks to snap Boston's home point streak despite the fact the Bruins have just 1 win in their last 6 games and are winless in 4. Boys, nice show.
Yeah, it was fun.
You guys are great.
It was tough. I didn't know if it was going to come to blows here at the beginning, but we've all become friends again. And, thanks, guys.
ELE, baby. ELE. Everybody love everybody. A huge thank you to Amalie Benjamin from NHL.com covering the Bruins. She was excellent. Big thank you to the Cube for producing today's show and for tap dancing to get Amalie on because I know we're having some issues there. For Nanso and Gager, I'm Tom saying thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Coming up next right here on EST, the final hour of the Reid Wilkins Show with the glue guy, Jay Milne. We'll catch you on the post-game show. Ciao for now.
Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Make a fresh start in the new year with Sentinel Storage. With convenient locations near you, Sentinel Storage is here to help you make space for everything 2024 holds. Sentinel Storage. Shop Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca.
This is your chance to win big with the Split the Pot Lottery. Support the Capital Care Foundation to help Alberta seniors get the care they deserve and support more healthcare foundations across the province. With a grand prize draw that grows with every ticket sold, the jackpot is hundreds of thousands and just keeps getting bigger. Visit splitthepot.ca and buy your tickets now. Don't forget to pick Capital Care Foundation as your foundation of choice. Next jackpot is January 16th, license number 713959.
The Canadian Ice House is taking your sports experience to a higher level. Trackman golf simulators are now open at the Ice House, an immersive and realistic golfing experience in the heart of downtown Edmonton. Visit in-store or at thecanadianicehouse.com for details.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, protect your interests. They'll be there every step of the way to help answer your questions and help you get your life back on track. Trust Alberta's precedent-setting injury lawyers with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, call James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, 780-428-0088, or go to jameshbrown.com.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino.
When I'm up, I can't get down, can't get down, can't get level.
Don't miss Canadian singer-songwriter Alan Doyle as he brings the East to the West, January 17th.
I said, hey, it's just an ordinary day, and it's on your state of mind.
Get your tickets at River Cree Resort and Casino. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement, bet on it.
Tommy Gunn's Barbershop is more than just a barbershop. It's a top-notch, tailor-made experience from check-in to check-out. Get a precision haircut, a classic shave, or a facial to step up your style. Just walk in, relax, and let Tommy Guns take it from there. Find comfort in knowing their team follows the code, which is their commitment to care for you as a customer. Check out Tommy Guns today, in-store or online at TommyGuns.com to bring out the best in you. Tommy Guns, where every cut is done right every time.
Fuge Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at fugesausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Fuge Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
All right. Jay Milne, Reid Wilkins back with you for the second half of our show today. Great job by Tom and Hernan and Joaquin as they teed you up for the Oilers and the Bruins, which we're going to be watching here on the ESTV in the studio, so we'll keep you updated. It, of course, is our game of the night for Playmore Tables and Games, from ping pong and pool tables to darts and dome hockey, plus all the classic arcade action you could ask for. Visit Canada's Game Room experts. Locations in Edmonton and Calgary are online at playmoregames.ca. Oilers trying to get it to 4 consecutive wins. The Bruins have lost their last 4 games, one of them in extra time, so 0-3-1 in their last 4. Appreciate you tuning in this afternoon as we will keep you updated on the Oilers game. It's facing off in a few minutes. You heard the guys talking about what we expect from the Oilers lineup. Looks like Josh Brown is going to play on defense in for Troy Stetcher. We have a few things to get through this hour. I want to give... We want to do clue number 3 here, Jay. We better do clue number 3 in our Hudson's Canada's Pub Mystery Athlete of the Game. This is to win a $25 gift card to Hudson's Canada's Pub. Text your clues to the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999. So the third clue is 7. So clue number 1, 89. Clue number 2, 82. And clue number 3, 7. Okay? The next clue, well, I can't say the next clue yet. It's later. We'll give the next clue later if nobody wins it based off of those 3 clues. All right?
All right.
Portions of this hour, by the way, presented by Canadian Brewhouse. Wing Wednesdays, unbeatable at the CBH, only 69 cents each, and a mountain of flavors to savor. Check out their flavor of the month every month. Do that wing thing every Wednesday at the Canadian Brew House. We're going to have a top 3 coming up as well. We got buying or selling for Damon Bunting. But we want to put something on the screen here. Do you have the video from this morning, Coop? I sent you that, or Jay sent you that, I should say. So we've been talking about this a little bit in the last week, that if Edmonton Sports Talk on YouTube got to 11,000 subscribers, what was the deadline? It was by Christmas?
Christmas Day. Midnight Christmas Day.
Oh, so easily we did it.
There is controversy, but...
All right. Our CEO, the owner of the station, the morning show host, Dustin Nielson from The Nielson Show, would eat pickled herring. Now, and we've talked about this, Dustin's palate is limited. I was talking about it this morning with him, and I said, we were talking about it, and we had a discussion on the show. What's the line between you expanding your palate and maybe the rest of us just bullying you a little bit? Try it. Well, he doesn't want to try some stuff. But I said, what is it with you? Is it you don't like sharp flavors, intense flavors? And he goes, well, it's texture on a lot of things.
Texture,
which I understand. I have those issues with a couple of things. But the pickled herring did happen on the morning show. Here's how it went down.
I kind of want to get in there, too. How big is this? Oh. Hi, Dusty. That's too big, I think.
Eat it.
All right, this is for 11,000 subs.
Merry Christmas.
Plugging his
I
nose.
might, you know what? Oh, God damn it.
Oh,
Swallow.
my.
Chew. Swallow. Chew. Swallow. Just get it down. Swallow it. It's slippery. Now let's see. Open the mouth.
Oh my God. Come on,
Eat the damn thing. Don't taste it.
So he had it. Good for him for having it. I don't know if I've had pickled herring. I've had pickled fish. I didn't want any yesterday during this show because it didn't smell good. I mean, it's just in an oniony brine, is it not? Well, a pickled brine. There was a lot of onions in there. I don't know if that was the best way for him to experience pickled herring. Would there not be better prepared pickled fish he could have had than something you had in your garage for the last year?
Sure. For sure there could be, but that's what they came up with. This was all self-inflicted. This was not pressure. This came out of Dustin's mouth.
All right. Well, he tried it.
He tried it. He did it.
He honored it, which is good for him. I'm not sure if I would have done that. But I had a good chat with Dustin this morning, who, in the grand scheme of things, I have not seen a lot since I started at Edmonton Sports Talk. Now, he's here till 1 a lot of days if he does the oil stream. But he was sick for a while. I mean, he missed a month of work.
Yeah.
And sometimes he's here, but he's on air while I'm getting ready for this show or doing other stuff. So I chatted with him this morning, and I said, I think there are gateway foods for you to try other things without diving into the deep end or having the knowledge about a certain food to try it. So if you go to a restaurant that serves X type of food, okay, I generally don't like X type of food, but I know this will be on the menu and I'll eat that. So I don't look like I'm sitting there, complaining or rejecting everything, or there's someone in the group or many people in the group that like that type of food and I'm the one bringing everybody down. And I said, for example, we go to sushi a lot, right? I said, if you ate a California roll or a vegan roll, because what's the simplest one? It's like it's just cucumber and avocado or cucumber and yam.
Well, there's a cucumber roll, which is strictly just cucumber.
Just the rice and the cucumber.
Yep.
And I said, you'd be fine with that. And I said, you give it a little dip in soy sauce if you want some zing to it. And he said, I like soy sauce. So I said, there's a perfect thing that if you went to a Japanese place and a bunch of people said, hey, they're having sushi, and you said, hey, you know what, I don't like the raw, or I'm not a big fish guy, but if someone picks a California roll, I'll share it with them, and then maybe I'll get, the hot stone and do some steak or some sort of beef or whatever, or chicken. some kind of ribs or something, and then you're fine. You're going to a Japanese restaurant and you know what you're getting. And Eric and I were talking to him that he's never tried spring rolls. I mean, spring rolls to me is pretty safe.
Dustin has not tried spring rolls?
He's pretty sure he hadn't had spring rolls.
Oh, those are delightful.
Yeah, and there's not a lot in them. I mean, it's mostly the battered stuff.
It's like a taco.
And you get a bit of filling.
It's a small taco.
That's what he kind of said. Oh, is it like a little burrito or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. I guess it's just more of, an Asian variety or whatever. So I think we're going to expand. I think we're going to comfortably expand Dustin's palate.
I think together as a group, we can all make this a safer workplace for his eating
Only
habits.
we can bridge the distance.
That's right.
Together we can make a difference. Don't you know that Dustin's palate is not enough?
They do say it takes teamwork to make a dream work.
It really does.
And this would be one of our missions. Dustin Chesnick, how about some Studnettes? No. That would be...
What's that again?
Well, that's like ham hocks in gelatin.
Oh, okay.
It's the gelatinous looking...
Oh, right. Okay.
No. Tango says, Jay, where's the CFL schedule? What's the holdup?
Oh, I inquired with somebody today.
And
they said, let me read their text. This
Okay.
is a source I have who works within the Canadian Football League.
Is this breaking news, Reid?
Not this week for sure. Next week, unlikely, but possible. Depends if more changes need to be made. Good question, because the CFL schedule in recent years has come out before Christmas. There was a while it was coming out, I think, in February around free agency, and then they started doing it before Christmas. And this year it was supposed to be before Christmas, and we don't have it. And according to my source, not this week, and next week possible, but unlikely. So that gets us into the week of what, January 20th?
Yeah, which is a month behind.
Yeah, so that's quite a bit later than we would expect. But yeah, good question. 780-218-9999 is how you text the afternoon inbox, presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino. Canadian musician Alan Doyle and comedian Ben Bank is coming to River Cree in January. For details on tickets, visit rivercreeresort.com as the Oilers and Bruins game has just faced off. We also had our off-topic topic for William Huff, your favorite homemade sandwich and why. And we got some good submissions on that one over the last couple of hours. So if you have anything there, you can send that in. You can also email Reid at edmontonsportstalk.com. You have any sandwich stuff right now?
No,
You wanna wait?
everything's gone because we switched shows and
Oh, so everything's all messed up.
it's gone, Reid.
The Elks making it official, by the way. They have signed receiver Trey Odoms Dukes. 3 Down Nation reported that. The Elks making it official. Injured last year in 2023, 60 passes for 686 yards. So obviously a connection there with Mark Killam. So Trey Odoms Dukes coming up from Calgary to join your Edmonton Elks. Should we dive into the top 3 now?
Sure.
Because you have your own top 3. And I also think this might inspire some listener participation. And the reason I went with this topic was because the Oilers are playing in Boston, which used to have the Boston Garden, which was one of the famous old hockey rinks in North America.
Well, they still have the Garden. It's just not the Boston Garden. It's the TD Garden.
Right. I don't even know what happened to the Boston Garden. I think the Montreal Forum is now I think theaters and a big arcade. I think Maple Leaf Gardens is now a grocery store. So it's the top 3 presented by Fuge Sausage, the best sausages you will ever eat, locally made, packed full of flavor. Order online or visit them in store, 6736 99th Street. Take advantage of their EST discount. 10% off your order by entering the online code EST or just mention Edmonton Sports Talk in the store. So just go to the counter, say Edmonton Sports Talk. It's 10% off, as Fuge Sausage says you can't beat our meat. So it is the top 3 arenas or stadiums or I guess sports grounds that I wish I could have visited. So, but these are places that no longer exist.
Correct.
So I'm not going to say, oh, I'd like to go to current Yankee Stadium. Well, no, I could do that. These are places that I wish I could go back in time and go to, or maybe I could have gone to when they still existed and were open. And you did your own list for this.
I did.
All right.
It was too fun not to.
It was too fun not to. This is a fun topic. So again, these are places that if you want to participate, absolutely give us yours and why. But these are places you can no longer go to. Not, I haven't been there, but I'm planning a trip in the next 5 years. I mean, for me, a place I'd like to go to is Augusta National. We've talked about that. But I can do that. So my top 3 arenas, stadiums, sports facilities.
Brown.
Josh Brown got a shot from the high slot for the Edmonton Oilers. That's a heck of a area to get a shot from. Good for him. 2.5 minutes into the game, no score, Oilers and Bruins. So the first one, I'm going to go with an obvious one. I'm going to go with a hockey one, and I watched plenty of games on television from this facility, and that is the Montreal Forum. I was in the building where the Forum is in my life. As I said, I think there are movie theaters, and I think my dad and I played like air hockey there. In 2010, we went to a couple Canadian games in the Bell Center. But the Montreal Forum, I would have loved to see it, see the banners, look up and see, the media level where you had Danny Gallivan and Bob Cole calling games and just got that vibe for a Canadiens home game in that historic facility.
Lovely pick. And you will find that our picks are different in that respect.
Good.
My picks will definitely cater to a different sport, which is why... Well, let's talk about this. The Forum, when was that taken out of commission?
95, I believe.
And then that turned into the Bell Center?
Yeah. Well, yeah, the Bell Center was brand new. What was it called? It was called the Molson Center first.
Molson?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was...
March 11th, 96, it was closed.
It was interesting to see all those old arenas. They had, they still had like the aluminum seats.
Right.
And the everything was red. Because that's a Canadian's color, right? Pontiac Silverdome, Reid.
Oh, my goodness. They blew it up. You maniac.
Part of it was because of the extravagant blow-up that happened. This stadium is in Pontiac, Michigan, hence why it's called the Pontiac Silverdome. I just always thought it was cool. The roof was ahead of its time. It was fiberglass, and it's held up by air pressure. So it was like a giant, they have those soccer domes now. Foot field gets covered. It was just that.
Right.
82,000 people could seat in the Pontiac Silverdome.
That's a big facility. Well, they had Super Bowls there.
Oh, yeah. I think they had NCAA tournaments there. I think wasn't one of the biggest crowd for an NCAA game at the Pontiac Silverdome.
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
We've got a really good one in the nasty chat from Tango, which technically doesn't qualify because it is a facility that still exists. It just doesn't host the team that it got famous for hosting. He put Mullet Arena. Now, you could go watch Arizona State play at Mullet Arena. You can't watch the Arizona Coyotes anymore. So that one doesn't quite count, but I do like the cheekiness of that reference. Rob from the Grove, Boston Garden, Maple Leaf Gardens. Yeah, I think you could pick... Well, from the original 6 teams, so what we've talked about, and Detroit is no longer in the Olympia. I guess the Rangers are still in Madison Square Garden, though it's been renovated several times over the years, but it's still kind of the original building, right? They've just always renovated on... Well, there might have been one that was in a different spot at first. So maybe if you went back far enough.
I think this is an interesting take from Connor Kushnerek, who says, I would love to go to Rexall now as an adult. And able to drink. I went as a kid, but never got the full experience, which would be the famous Rexall beers.
Were the Rexall beers any different from the Rogers Place beers?
Oh yeah.
How so?
About half the price to start. And
to start, they would be what they are now.
They would, but there was just a little bit of a, I don't know what you'd call it, a lore behind this. The Rexall beers would just get you going quicker than the average beer.
Oh, really?
Something to do with air in the lines and the amount of kegs going through, and it was an older system. I'm sure there's plenty of people that will give the exact reason why Rexall beers were what they were, but they were a thing. Oh, yeah.
All right. Joe Louis Arena for Mike. Well, I guess, yeah, wasn't it? Was it called the Olympia and then they changed it to Joe Louis Arena? Oh, big hit there. Kulak just got knocked to the ice trying to drive to the net.
The Joe. That's
Joe, right. 6.5 minutes into the first period, no score between the Oilers and the Boston Bruins. Let's call a quick timeout. We'll continue with the top 3 for Fuge Sausage. Top 3 sports facilities that no longer exist that Jay and I would like to have visited. And the Oilers have scored, by the way. Before we go to break, it looks like Adam Henrique.
Oh, what timing.
Swooping in, took a pass from behind the net and scored. Let's just stay with this one here, Koob, while we get the replay so I can describe the goal to people. So 1-0 for the Oilers, 13:27 left in the first period. I think Perry was behind the net and centered it to him. Henrique kept the puck alive back to the point, D-to-D pass. Shot deflected to the corner. Henrique put it behind the net to Perry, and then Henrique went to the slot and fires it in from the hash mark. He just kind of found a spot between a couple of Bruins who were late to react to him getting the pass, and he whips it in. So Adam Henrique has scored. Oilers up 1-0 on Boston. Now 13:20 left in the first period. We will keep you updated on our game of the night for Playmore Tables and Games. Here comes the Koob with a sports update.
The Oilers have just scored to take a 1-0 lead against the Bruins midway through the first period. Elsewhere, the Sens and Red Wings are scoreless. The Stars and Rangers see no goals. And the Pens trail 1-0 against the Blue Jackets, seeing all of those games in the first. After that, the Predators meet the Jets. The Maple Leafs throw it down against the Flyers, and the Blues play the Wild, having 9 games around the NHL. And in the CFL, the Elks have signed American wide receiver Trey Odums Dukes to a 1-year deal. On the court, it's the Suns leading 10-3 against the Hornets, and the Wizards down 9-7 against the Rockets, both of those games in the first quarter. This sports update is brought to you by Paramount Flooring, proudly family-owned and operated for 33 years. Paramount Flooring is your full-service flooring and tile supplier. Whether you're a homeowner, renovator, or builder, Paramount Flooring provides a flooring to fit your lifestyle and budget. Visit their showroom that's open 7 days a week at 10707 184th Street. Paramount Flooring. Flooring for the life that you live. The Reid Wilkins Show returns here on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at WilliamHuff.com.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems, but did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers understood.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to JamesHBrown.com.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielson and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
So Adam Henrique has scored for the Oilers. We are just shy of the halfway point of the first period. Edmonton leading Boston 1-0. The Bruins trying to snap a 4-game slide, 0-3-1 on their last 4. The Oilers looking for their 4th consecutive victory. We'll keep you updated on that one. Jay and I are with you until 6 o'clock. Hernan and Tom are a few feet away from me watching the game here in the bullpen, and they're going to be on right after the game with the Oil Stream post-game show to break it down, as the Oilers have looked pretty good so far in the first period.
Definitely taking it to them. This has been, I mean, I don't know what the shots are now, but 6-1, 6-2.
Perry had a good look from the slot. It got blocked. We mentioned Josh Brown actually had a pretty good look from the slot. He's in for Stetcher. McDavid did a great job to keep the puck alive on a hard-to-handle pass, and he got a shot away, not from a great spot, but kind of from just
the
inside
fact
the
that he
face
got a shot away was something in
his
itself.
ability to control the puck, of all the other things like how many times is there a bouncing puck or something that
just ridiculous
most players wouldn't even knock down, and he keeps it alive and gets a shot away. They're showing the replay. Is this the replay now?
No, it's
That's
not.
another play where he spun off a check from McAvoy one-handed. Yeah, he's been... Well, McDavid hasn't got a point the last couple of games, right? So
This is it here.
Here's the chance he just... Well, actually, a Boston player... The puck was in his skates, and then a Boston player briefly had it, I think. And McDavid still reached back without breaking stride or going offside and swiped it onto his stick and got a shot away. So Oilers up 1-0, looking good early. We'll see if they can keep it going as they try to sweep the season series from the Boston Bruins. We want to give away a $25 gift card to Hudson's Canada's Pub for our mystery athlete of the game. We do this every Oilers game day on the weekdays here on the Reid Wilkins Show. So the 4th clue is 0 U.S. Open wins. So the clues have been 89, 82, 7, 0 U.S. Open wins is the 4th clue. So
that might make people change
that
their
should
tune.
eliminate several sports that people have been guessing athletes from, correct?
Yes.
It should eliminate several guesses. So the clues are 89, 82, 7, and 0 U.S. Open wins.
Should allow some focus.
Focus.
Bueller.
Should allow for a little bit of that. I like you suggested this athlete. Once we give out the name, I'll ask you what made you think of this person, because he was quite out of the blue.
Okay, you can ask me,
but we'll do it after.
Yeah, for sure.
Do it after we reveal. The 5th clue is going to really give it away. I'm hoping somebody gets it now, though. As much as I've become a miserable curmudgeon about it and don't want anybody to get it on the 1st clue or even the 2nd clue, I kind of hope now somebody gets it before clue 5.
Well, we're past that threshold now. Now you're into easy zone. You know, this is happy read
Well,
time.
again, to me, this narrows it down to 2 sports and likely one. But the 4th clue is 0 U.S. Open wins.
89, 82, 7,
and 0 U.S. Open wins. So not just 0, I'm telling you specifically which event this individual never won.
Beautiful.
And maybe some of those other numbers are significant with other things he won, or she.
Well, we're looking to get up to 100 just on the pregame.
Oh, for thumbs up? So we're on the same stream as the Oil Stream pregame show?
Yeah, but hey, we'll take it.
Yeah, let's get to 100 for that.
I mean, we're flying it. We were at 65 before. Then
we inherited some, yeah.
And we inherited quite a few from the GCL Diesel pregame show. Beautiful.
All right.
This I'm excited to hear your next stadium or arena.
Well, this place, I guess, still exists, but it wouldn't be used for this purpose. So top 3 for Fuge Sausage, sporting venues, I guess, arenas, stadiums, or in this case, place where sports was held. And this is, people might roll their eyes at this one. The Pan-Hellenic Religious Sanctuary of Olympia. The originating Olympic Games traditionally dated to 776 BC. The games were held here every 4 years, and that is what I'm going with. I'm reading that off Wikipedia. But wouldn't it be cool to go back in time and attend the first Olympics? I think they participated in the nude, first of all. But I wonder what that was like. Probably nobody on steroids. Maybe people trying to cheat, though. Who knows?
Oh, for sure. There's probably never been an Olympics without
where
somebody
people
trying to cheat.
didn't try to cheat. But I guess this is a place I could still go to because it is there.
Is it like a field now?
It looks like there's a picture here. It looks like there's kind of a track of columns, like the Greek columns, some of which are no longer fully intact. There's a statue of Zeus there, I guess. But I think this would be a cool place to have gone to see some sports. So the official place is the Pan-Hellenic Religious Sanctuary of Olympia. Did somebody get it? Yes! Okay, give your second place, and then we'll give your second in the top 3, and then we'll identify the mystery athlete of the game.
My second, mine are all stadiums. Football related, obviously, but mine actually dueled as a baseball stadium and a football stadium, which a lot of them did.
I don't know, Riverfront Stadium.
No. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick.
Oh, Candlestick Park.
Yes.
I considered putting that on my list too.
I just think there's so much history in that stadium. Built in 1971. It was the home of the 49ers till 2013. Named after the candlestick bird, which occupies that area of the
I didn't
bay.
realize that. Okay.
Yes, and I always found it was interesting because they had the weirdest sightlines in those baseball/football parks where there would be rows of bleachers that pull out, rendering corners of the arena or the stadium completely useless. So Candlestick Park was always neat. I thought visually as a child watching games at Candlestick Park was nice. It seemed to have a bit of the Pasadena Rose Bowl flair to it. And obviously, there was some good years there with Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, Steve Young, The Catch,
Dwight Clark, and The Wind. Was it not known at times of year for being not a pleasant place to sit and watch a game, perhaps?
Awful weather. You could have a beautiful day in San Francisco, but because of where it was placed in the bay, it caught real nasty weather.
Right.
So Candlestick Park.
That's a good pick. All right, we'll do we'll round out our top 3 in a few minutes here, and people are submitting some of their own into the Nasty Chat and the River Korean box, 780-218-9999. The Olympia getting some, in Detroit, getting some comments too. Tiger Stadium in Detroit would have been a neat one. I guess a lot of the old baseball
Tiger
stadiums.
Stadium was close to getting on my list. That was just such an iconic look.
Yeah, it looked really interesting.
Because it was all covered. Every bleacher stand was covered.
Right.
Which is rare.
So the mystery athlete of the game for Hudson's Canada's Pub, the clues were, and I will explain them as I go here. 89 was the age of this person when he passed away. 82 was how many PGA Tour victories he has. 7 was the number of majors he won, but 0 of them were U.S. Opens, and 0 U.S. Opens was the 4th clue. The 5th clue, if we needed it, was going to be golfer. It is
Sam Snead.
Sam Snead is the mystery athlete of the game. And why did you? Because we were sitting there, and I said, I got to do mystery athlete today, and you were silent for about 3 seconds, and you were like, Sam Snead. And I was like, you want me to do Sam Snead? And you're like, well, I don't know, I guess.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
I will.
No, I just come out of the office talking to Maddie. We're both kind of, I guess, cautiously optimistic for the golf league, which premieres tonight.
Oh, this thing, okay.
So I had golf on the brain, and for whatever reason, the first golfer that came to mind, well, I didn't want to go with somebody, Jack Nicklaus or Tiger Woods.
But one of the greats of all time, though.
Absolutely. Sam Snead. Why not? Turned out to be a little bit of a stump.
Well, why not? Because we can pick anybody we want.
Absolutely.
It does not have to be a hockey player. It does not have to be tied into that night's Oilers games, though there are occasions that I have done that or tied it into something happening in the world of sports that day, but we can literally pick anybody.
Absolutely. So Sickler was the fella that got it.
Awesome.
Yeah. So Sickler,
how confident was Sickler? Did he write Sam Snead or did he write Sam Snead? ?
He wrote Sam Snead.
And Stuart Skinner's been taken out here His helmet's been knocked off. He's a little slow to get up. Well, he's still down on his belly. Now he's sort of half up. There was a Boston player, and at the same time here, Janmark's going down the tunnel. I'm not sure what happened to him. I think we got a penalty on Boston here.
Zadorov, that dirty guy.
Is that who it was? Okay. Yeah. So I want to take a look at here at the replay because I was just looking up as it happened. TD forced out to talk to Skinner. Skinner is up to his knees and sort of bent over at the waist with his head down as he talks to Force. McDavid's taking his goal stick to the bench, which probably got broken on the play. Again, Skinner's mask came off in this collision. Edmonton leading Boston 1-0 with 5:25 left in the first. Oilers out shooting Boston 6-5. For the most part, out playing the Bruins. They've yet to show a replay here on Sportsnet, but we want to give you some details on what happened.
So, Sickler, Kub will get in touch with you in the River Cree inbox. Congrats. Well done.
Yeah, Skinner sort of now with his head up. And it will be an Oilers power play. I think he's going to be okay. This might be one of those. Now, unless the concussion spotter says you got to go out.
This is what the Georgia kicker should have done.
This is what the Georgia kicker should have done. Stay on the ice.
Play it up, baby.
Make sure you get a penalty.
Make sure that somebody's getting penalized.
Now, Pickard's got his mask on and ready to go, and now he's taking it off. So Skinner's going to stay in the game. So here's the replay. Zadorov on his off wing busting. That's clearly goaltender interference. I mean, he's forced wide by Kulak, and Kulak gives him a little bit of a shove, and Zadorov just keeps going and plows into Skinner, and Kulak immediately looked at the referee saying, come on, I didn't do that. I don't think, here's another angle here, Jay. I don't think the shove by Kulak caused that.
And I don't think it was all that egregious. Like, this is just a guy going to the net.
It's goalie interference.
It is goalie interference. I'm not disagreeing with that, but I don't think this is anything that is...
And now Pickard is coming in. Now, I wonder if the concussion spotter is saying Skinner's got to leave the game.
After that replay, right? Because before it was no Pickard.
Yeah, because Pickard was ready to go, and then TD Force said something to Pickard, and it looked like Pickard was taking his mask off. And, yeah, Tom confirmed that's the spotter? Yeah, both Tom and I think that that's the spotter. So the Oilers have the power play. Pickard is in, and Zadorov is off for goaltender interference. Aggressive net charge. I don't think the shove by Kulak. I think Zadorov could have altered his path or gone in slower or stopped, and he didn't. So I think it's a right call to give a penalty there.
Well, and Mike, the Michigan fan, makes a great point. Why is nobody going after him? Well, there's twofold. Busch. What do you want Busch to do?
Was it Busch and Kulak on the ice?
Kulak was talking to the ref saying, what's going on here? And they have a man advantage, right? I mean, at some point, if you're going to go after it and give up that opportunity to go on the man advantage, was it worth it? You know, I don't think Skinner is hurt in any way, but it might be something where, they got to have a look at it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you take a number in that situation. I get that, and there is less of that than there used to be. Bouchard has not scored a power play goal this season. Almost had one there halfway through the power play. So now another storyline for this game is, does Skinner come back? We are assuming here that the concussion spotter removed him from the game, saying you were down on the ice for a while, your helmet came off, we gotta have you come out of the game, because it looked like he was going to stay, and then he goes out. So now we see if he's okay and he can come back to the game. 780-218-9999 is the River Cree inbox.
I don't know if I should say this.
Well, why? Is it nasty?
No.
Is it mean?
Well, we've had 2 shows interrupted by the Oilers game. Not interrupted, but you know what I mean.
Oh, an Oilers injury?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've had other split shows like this, but yeah, the Columbus one was when McDavid got hurt and they lost 6-1. Now, in that game, they were playing bad right from the beginning. This one, they're actually playing pretty well.
Oh,
and there's Janmark. He kind of got spun around in the offensive zone, and then I think Perry, somebody went over, I don't know who it was, went over his back. That looked like it might be a left leg or ankle for Janmark, who is back on the bench, by the way, as the Oilers' power play is going to expire without them taking advantage. Like, do you in that situation? I know we always get that. I used to get that all the time on overtime open line. Why didn't they fight? Why didn't they jump Zadorov? I mean, I don't know. To me, take the power play, take a number, and we have seen the Oilers do things like that. You know, well, for the beginning of the year, they didn't win a game unless they had a fight.
That's
First
right. 5
or 6 wins of the season. I mean, and I think in that situation, it looked like a linesman went to Zadorov right away, and we're kind of like, okay, I'm not sure what forwards were on the ice. In this situation, I'm more take the power play, and don't risk don't negate the man advantage. It was a penalty. They called a penalty. I'm not saying it was a clean play by Zadorov, but I mean, he did have the puck. It's not as if he ran him while he didn't have the puck. So in his mind, he's thinking, well, I'm taking it hard to the net to score. I don't know. Who's going to step up and, well, the Oilers have a couple guys, but.
Well, do you think that was an intent to injure by Zadorov?
No, I think he made an aggressive play, knowing that he might run the goalie over and just didn't care and did it anyway. But
The old 2 for 1?
That's why he should get a penalty.
Yep, penalized.
So, 2 minutes left in the first period now. 1-0 Oilers in Boston. We are in the James H. Brown studio, by the way. James H. Brown Personal Injury Law Firm, the heavy hitters of injury law with over 200 years of experience. James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. Visit them at jameshbrown.com. Book your private consultation today as Leon sets up Bouchard off the rush for a shot from between the circles, and that one is stopped by Swayman. We'll keep you updated on the Oilers and the Bruins. It's our Playmore Tables and Games game of the night. We still have buying or selling for Damon Bunting. Oh, and we got to finish our top 3 for Fuge Sausage. Top 3 sporting facilities we wish we would have attended an event in. Here comes the Coop.
The Oilers lead 1-0 over the Bruins nearing the end of the first, seeing Kelvin Pickard step in for Stuart Skinner. Skinner exits the game after being a part of a collision during a net drive from the Bruins. And there's 4 other games around the league, seeing the Rangers scoring 3 straight to go up 3-1 over the Stars. The Senators trail the Red Wings 1-0, and the Blue Jackets have the only goal in their game against the Penguins. All of those games are nearing the end of 20. In the NBA, the Hornets are down 29-22 against the Suns, while the Wizards hold the Rockets 32-18, having both games entering the second quarter. This sports update is brought to you by Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy. Get treated like a pro with their highly skilled crew. Whether you're recovering from an injury or looking to enhance your performance, Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy uses the same locker room approach, trusted by the best in the game. Find them online at AdvantageSportMed.ca. The final segment of the Reid Wilkins Show follows on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, keeping you in the loop.
Wake up with the Nielson Show with Dustin Nielson and Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Make a fresh start in the new year with Sentinel Storage. With convenient locations near you, Sentinel Storage is here to help you make space for everything 2024 holds. Sentinel Storage. Shop Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key, influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. Oilers and Elks, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, and the association, Formula One, soccer, golf. Oh, sweet mama! The excitement is palatable on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website and send a message at edmontonsportstalk.com.
Book your holiday birthday party at the CBH today. The Canadian Brewhouse is your ultimate destination for events, parties, fundraisers, and more. 'Tis the season to celebrate. Visit and book now in-store or at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of The Nielson Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
All right, so the first period's over. Oilers up 1-0 on the Bruins.
Yeah, heavily favored the Oilers in terms of shots on goal, 13-4 through the first period. Face-offs were 50-50. Obviously, the Oilers went 0 for 1 on the power play. Out-hit 15-7, but as we discussed yesterday, that's par for the course for this team.
Yeah.
But all in all, Reid, I'd say that was a pretty dominant first period by the Edmonton Oilers.
Pretty good. We'll see how Skinner is. Looked like he got taken out of the game because of the concussion spotter after Nikita Zadorov drove the net from the right side and plowed into Skinner. But Pickard came in the rest of the way, but not a lot really going on in the Oilers' end in that period. Edmonton didn't score on that power play. Henrique with the only goal. Let's finish our top 3 sporting venues that we wish we could have visited. So these are places that no longer exist. I have an image for my third one. Koob, if you want to get that ready for the people who are watching on YouTube, and if you are on YouTube, click that thumbs up button as well.
Let's go for 100. Let's finish it.
Let's see if we can still get to 100 total for the last show and
Come
for this
on,
one.
It's 22.
Mine is going to be the Polo Grounds. And sorry, not that one, Koob, the Polo Grounds image.
I was close to putting this on too. It's just the history.
Because this is the weirdest. So it was football and baseball. And what they did was they stuck home plate basically on a goal line and went north-south with the field. So it was 483 feet to dead center field, which was the end of the other end zone. It was only 279 down the left field line and 258 down the right field line. In other words, if you could hit a pop fly straight down the foul line, it's a home run. And I believe as well the bullpens were in the outfield, like on the field, way back in left center and right center. Because it was so far away.
I didn't know that it had this quirky size to it.
Yeah, this is how the baseball stadium looked when they had a baseball game in the Polo Grounds.
Well, obviously they were Polo Grounds at one point too.
Right, well.
I mean, but that would be another sport that was played on it. But so I do know, so that one end where the 483 is, that was all open, if I'm not mistaken, and then the sides were the stadium.
Yeah, well, no, 483, there were stands there too.
Were there?
Yes.
It's funny that jut out. Why the jut out?
Well, I think that was the maintenance area.
Yeah, we just roped this off, guys.
Yeah.
We'll make it 450.
So I would have loved to see a game at the Polo Grounds. Now, I know there was football there as well, but specifically I would have liked to see it with the baseball configuration just because it's so funny looking.
You and I could hit home runs out of there.
Well, down the line, you might be able to.
Snap one.
Seriously, for a Major League Baseball player to hit the ball 270 feet is not that difficult. Most of those result in outs.
Heavily favored the lefty hitter, too, because it was
a little bit. Yeah, it was even shorter.
Line.
It was even shorter.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I had no idea it was that quirky.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So on my last one, I went with the Miami Orange Bowl.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, I always, to be honest, the reason was because Ace Ventura is probably one of my favorite movies. And that's where Snowflake the Dolphin lived.
Oh, right.
When they shot that movie. But in looking into it a little bit more, I mean, it's 75,000 feet seat stadium. The Miami Dolphins had their perfect season there in 1972. And this stat here was impressive. The longest NCAA football home winning streak from 1985 to 1994 for the Miami Hurricanes. They won 58 straight home games.
Oh, wow. Wasn't Jimmy Johnson the coach for probably the early part of that before he went to the Cowboys?
Yes. Yes, he would have been, for sure. And think of the athletes that came through there. My goodness.
All right, so that is our top 3. That was a fun one. Sporting facilities we would have liked to have visited, ones that no longer exist. The top 3 presented by Fuge Sausage. Let's do the word of the day now, and then we'll do buying or selling at the end, Jay. So our word of the day, we're just going to do it, right?
We're just going to do it.
Let's get to 100 thumbs for this part of the show. If everybody just click it as quickly as possible. Tell other people to give us a click as well. Kind of weird, because our show is split today. Tom and Hernan were in the middle. That's going to be the case on Thursday as well when the Oilers play the Penguins. Edmonton leading Boston 1-0 after 1 tonight. The word of the day. So here's the thing. Jay gives the word of the day, and I have to spell it, which I'm okay at.
You're pretty good.
And then I have to come up with the definition.
I think you're going to spell this one.
Okay.
I doubt you're going to get it.
All right.
Histrionics. Histrionics.
Yeah, Histrionics. And this is sort of an exaggerated or over-the-top reaction or display.
Wow.
So, Jay,
wow. 2 for 2.
I figured Jay would be upset when I ate his sandwich, but I didn't expect the histrionics.
Right. It's behavior or speech for effect, as insincere or exaggerated expression of an emotion.
Right.
Wow. Riedrich. That's
I knew the meaning of that word, and I knew tome from a couple days ago.
The child's histrionics were a tactic to avoid going to bed on time.
Oh, there we go. Okay,
right?
That's even better use in a sentence.
Yeah.
So I both knew how to spell the word of the day, and...
Wow.
And... I generally knew the definition. That's pretty close.
Ahead. Make my day.
There were a lot of polo grounds that came in.
And Ebbets Field, too. That would be a good one. That's where the Dodgers played in Brooklyn, right?
And Mike, the Michigan fan, earlier, I just wanted to relay this. Last game at Olympia Stadium was December 15th, 1979. First game at Joe Louis Arena was December 27th, 79. They have some of the old bricks.
Oh, right. It went Olympia, Joe Louis, and then the new one. I got mixed up with the... Yeah, sorry. That's my bad.
They have some of the old bricks of Olympia at Little Caesars Arena still. Mike, the Michigan fan, was just down there on a trip. He was sending us pictures throughout, so thank you for that.
We have a limerick to read at EdmontonSportsTalk.com from the Big Yuki. He writes a limerick almost every day, and this one is timely. Stu Skinner leaves the game after being ran. Anger is felt towards the door off by many a fan. Score more, please. Sandwiches need cheese? Cannot wait to throw some stones with the EST clan. So he works in something that happened in the first period. He worked in our off-topic topic for your favorite homemade sandwich, and he worked in the fact that we have the EST Fun Spiel presented by Lloyd Sad Insurance coming up on February 15th at the Shamrock. If you're in the Nasty Club, you can already sign up. Everybody else can sign up, can register on Monday, $300 per team. Big Uke, you are a molten mound of a magma man.
God bless you, Uke. You're a national treasure.
He really is. All right, let's do buying or selling for Damon Bunting, a consistent top-producing realtor in Greater Edmonton and area for over 17 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out on DamonBunting.com or the Instagram handle of Damon Bunting Real Estate. Okay, Coop, put up that other image I sent you, the baseball-related, well, not the Polo Grounds one, the other one that you were going to put up earlier. Buying or selling that this is maybe the silliest thing sports-related that you're going to see this week or maybe for a long time. MLB.com, for some reason, decided to predict the next 10 World Series. Who beats who in the World Series?
MLB.com?
MLB.com.
Why would they do that?
I have no idea. Well, I guess maybe to get people talking about it, but I'm kind of like, who is actually going to read this and take it seriously? You know, I could see you maybe want to give a 5-year projection for who might be good. I mean, it's their off season.
Yeah, but
we're over a month or about a month from spring training or catchers reporting, whatever. But why are you predicting?
That's like Dustin predicting the next 12 months of who's going to be the employee of the month as the boss of EST. Why would the MLB do that?
Well, they get people, so they have the Dodgers over the Tigers this year, And then in 2034, they have the A's over the Rockies. I have no idea why they would think that. And even if you have a good farm system, so what? That doesn't tell you what's going to happen in 2034. That might be informative for the next 4 to 5 years. Like, what do you? And I guess by then it'll be the Las Vegas A's, probably.
And I just don't get it. There's no body of evidence behind this. Maybe the next 2-3 years.
Maybe.
But free agency and the way the baseball's going?
Yeah.
Who knows? They have... Who's LA beating?
This year?
Detroit?
The Tigers, yes. Next year, Mets over Red Sox. 2027, Phillies over Tampa. Okay. The White Sox, who stunk this year, right? They have the White Sox winning the 2033 World Series. All right, well, there you go, White Sox fans. In 9 years or whatever, you're gonna be good. Like,
now, Big Uke says that we're talking about it, so
right,
that's why
I get
they
it,
do
but
this.
we're mocking it. I'm not recommending people go read the article. And I didn't read the article. Maybe if I would have read the article, but it struck me as like, why would I read this?
I just think it's odd that the MLB did this. It's not like the top MLB.
No, it's
podcast
not The Athletic or ESPN.
Yeah.
It's actually MLB.com. Well, I guess they got to generate content, and they can only talk about baseball.
Jeez.
So I am selling that as an informative or intelligent piece of sports journalism.
Wow.
Are you buying or selling that for Damon Bunting, Jay?
I'm selling that.
You're selling that as well. Let's buy or sell something that happened in the first period. Should the Oilers have jumped Zadorov?
No. No, because it then gave you an opportunity for, like, what's that going to do? I would have liked to see maybe a little bit of aggression, but not a jumping. I mean, that is a jump-worthy case, and you say, well, screw it, I'm going to take one here too. But it's like, slash the guy in the back of the legs as he's sitting on the ground. Do something like that, a nice, firm love tap. But then you're negating a possible power play.
Right.
So I guess I'm not buying or selling. I think they could have handled it completely different.
Yeah, I mean, I see some people in the nasty chat. Pat says, Oilers afraid to defend Skinner. Wow, not a good look. Jimbo says, let's face it, even our biggest, quote, toughest players have a crappy track record of sticking up for stars and the goaltender. I get it. I also just don't think that happens as much as like if somebody would have gone and challenged Zadorov, I wouldn't have had a problem with that. But I also don't think it's a sign of like I don't think now the Bruins are thinking, well, great, we can just do whatever we want to Skinner. We can just keep running him. I think it's changed a little bit in that regard. I do think that sometimes revenge can be a dish best served cold. Take a number, maybe take an opportunity down that road. In that moment, I don't have a problem with the Oilers taking the power play. And I didn't see all 5 players on the ice, but the 3 that were in the shot were Kulak, Bouchard, and Kapanen. So I don't know if any of them were going to. Certainly, you wouldn't expect Bouchard to do anything. Kulak turned to the ref and was like, hold on a minute. I didn't push into my goalie. I hope you're making a call.
Yeah, he was trying to save
and
himself.
And then the other 2 forwards, I'm not sure where they were or what they saw.
Yeah, and like you said, take a number. Handle it within, we used to say, do it between the whistles.
Right.
And that's how people got their heads taken off around piles while they're waiting.
Not that you ever would have done that to somebody.
Oh, I did.
Oh, you might have a couple times.
I love doing that. Hoggy hunting, I called it.
Yeah.
Just look for the biggest guy standing around the pile and take him out.
Just as the whistle went.
Just at the right timing.
Just at the right timing.
Won't be standing around that pile next time.
Yeah. It's a worthwhile debate. I mean, you certainly want to. I hate this term sometimes, but sometimes you want to send a message. Don't do anything to our star players. But I also think a team like Boston probably isn't going to be intimidated either.
Well, not Zadorov for sure.
No. Well, and he's going off the ice anyway. But I get the discussion. I just don't know if it's always necessary to do it immediately. I mean, there was that game earlier this season when Skinner got clipped. Wasn't that when Stetcher fought against somebody? It might have been Philadelphia, and he went in right. Well, yeah, he fought Couturier, right?
Yeah,
and he went in and fought right away.
Corey Perry fought.
Was that because a goalie got ran, or because somebody got ran?
That led to the Birds of Summer, Reid.
Well, that was in the same. Oh, Perry fought off the face-off.
Yeah,
off the ensuing face-off. So I get it. I mean, I guess for me, I wouldn't have been mad either way. I just think there's more to it all the time. Well, you got to do something. You got to do something. Well, you don't have to do something every time. A lot of crap happens on the ice that's dirty or chippy, and teams don't always respond to it right away. Now, big picture, and we've talked about this, are the Oilers a physical enough team, a beefy enough team? Probably not. But even if they were, do they necessarily do something in that situation? I don't know.
Well, and I mean, there's still 40 minutes here left. You don't think they're talking about that in the locker room?
So if Evander Kane is on the ice, and we'll never know, if Evander Kane is on the ice for that, does he jump Zadorov, or does he swoop over, he's going to the penalty box and be like, hey, I'll talk to you later in the game, okay?
It depends.
Right?
It depends what version of Evander Kane is on the ice tonight.
But I think sometimes those happen too, right? You may not jump a guy right away. You may not deal with it right away. You may say, really? Okay. We'll see you in the second period. Or you may go up to the guy and say, tell Swayman to keep his head up the rest of the night, okay? There's different ways to handle it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing with anybody who's saying that they would have liked the Oilers to do something in that situation, because it's totally justifiable. I'm just saying, and it's not as if every team in the NHL deals with everything right when it happens.
Nor does it have to be.
All right.
Keep that one up here in the bank.
Right. Second period's about to start. Look who's back in goal for the Oilers. He's out of concussion protocol. Stuart Skinner will play. The Oilers have a 1-0 lead. Adam Henrique scored a goal in the first period. So the stream's going to pause until after the game. Tom and Hernan will be back with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show to analyze and wrap up the Oilers and the Bruins. Thanks to our technical producer and sports update deliverer, Zachary Kubusch. On behalf of the Glue Guy, I'm Reid. Have a great evening.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino.
When I'm up, I can't get down, can't get down, can't get level.
Don't miss Canadian singer-songwriter Alan Doyle as he brings the East to the West, January 17th.
I say, hey, it's just an ordinary day, and it's on your state of mind.
Get your tickets at River Cree Resort and Casino. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement, bet on it.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key, influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. Oilers and Elks, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, and the association, Formula One, soccer, golf, oh sweet mama! The excitement is palatable on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website and send a message at edmontonsportstalk.com.
Fuge Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at fugesausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Fuge Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielson and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.